Hello everyone, this is Dr. Y. Chakrapani, faculty at ACE Academy. All the GATE aspirants, I think they are busy with their preparation. But remember, if we want to succeed in the GATE exam, it's not only the hard work, we also require smart work. To help you in this regard, I came up with a simple presentation which is going to help you what are the changes made in the syllabus of the forthcoming GATE examination, as well what are the types of questions we are going to get it. Let me first discuss the eligibility criteria as well as the type of questions what we are going to get. The third year students are also eligible to appear for this GATE examination. Earlier, only fourth year students were allowed to appear for this examination, but now the third year students are also allowed to write this examination. So obviously, the syllabus will be restricted up to third year only. And the GATE score is valid for 3 years. One more provision he has made is the candidate can appear for 2 papers. One is primary, other one is secondary. For example, a electronics and communication engineering student, he can take up the primary paper as EC, and also he can appear as a secondary paper in this particular ones, either instrumentation or physics. Similarly, an instrumentation student, he can appear as a secondary option either in electronics and communications, electrical engineering or physics. If you look at the distribution of the marks, the exam is conducted for 100 marks and the time duration is 3 hours. This GATE exam totally consists of 65 questions, out of which 10 are from general aptitude and 55 are going to come from subjects. Remember, the subjects includes mathematics. If you look at the distribution of the marks here, the lion part is going to come from subjects, that is 72, and 15 marks will come from general aptitude and 13 will come from engineering mathematics. All the questions are classified into 1 mark and 2 marks. So this is the distribution of the marks and this is the corresponding pie chart. So the lion's share comes from subjects based questions, and the next priority goes to general aptitude and third priority goes to engineering maths. If you look at the type of questions that are coming in the GATE examination, 3 types will come: MCQs, MSQs and NATs. MCQ stands for multiple choice questions, meaning for a given question he is going to give 4 options, and out of that 4 options, one of the option is the correct one that you need to pick it. A new addition to this is now multiple select questions. That is, for a given question he will give 4 options and one or more than one answers are going to be correct one for this. So you have to pick all the correct ones. That is called multiple select questions. Numerical answer type questions, that means the answer is going to come in the form of numeral. It is also called fill up the blank questions. So these are the 3 types of questions we are going to get in the exam. Remember, the multiple choice questions have negative marking. For 1 mark questions, for a wrong answer, the negative marks is 1/3, and for 2 marks questions, for a wrong answer, 2/3 marks will be deducted. In multiple select questions, there is no partial credit. That means, for a given question, 3 options are correct, but you have selected only 2 correct options, but still he is not going to give the marks. Only when you select all the 3 correct options, then only you are going to get the marks. That is the reason MSQs do not have partial credit. Of course, to answer to these questions in an effective manner, we require this type of skills. To answer some of the questions, you must be able to recall the basics. That means you have to memorize. So, he will give questions based on different formulae or different fundamentals. So, you need to remember them, recall them and use that knowledge to answer to the questions. Coming to the second one, comprehension. In these type of questions, he is going to test you how much knowledge you have in the subject fundamentals, how much you understood the subject. That is tested in the comprehension type of questions. Next one is application. So, he gives a question based on application, so that by using the appropriate fundamentals, you must be able to get the correct answer for it. And the last type of questions are analysis and synthesis. For a given circuit, you must be able to analyze and try to find out all the details from that particular circuit, like what are the characteristics, what is the Q point, what is the relation between input and output, all those things you should obtain. Synthesis. He gives a circuit, he gives a characteristic graph, he gives also a table for example. From all this information, we need to answer to the question, and that is called synthesis. Most of the multiple choice questions and the application based questions, it requires the recalling of the fundamentals. Let us look at some examples for MCQ and MSQ questions. We know MCQ is multiple choice questions and MSQ is multiple select questions. But the doubt is how to distinguish them. Looking at the options, we can determine is it a MCQ question or is it a MSQ question. The options for all MCQ questions will be shown with radio buttons. This is called radio button. And options for all MSQ questions will be given in the form of a checkbox. So, looking at this options indication, we can determine is it a MCQ or MSQ question. Let me give some examples based on this. Which of the following is the ripple factor of a full wave rectifier, and he has given 4 options. Now look at the options, it is shown with radio buttons. That indicates that it is a MCQ question and only one answer will need to be selected. If you select it as 0.48, this is going to be the correct answer, and that is the reason you are going to get full marks for this. Another example for MCQ question is, what is the decimal value of a 2's complement number 1 followed by 4 zeros? So again you can see he has given 4 options here, and the radio buttons indicate that it is a MCQ question, only one answer we need to select it. Suppose you have selected it as -8, then it is the incorrect answer. The reason is the decimal equivalent of 1 followed by 4 zeros 2's complement number is equal to -16. So the fourth one is the correct option, but not the third one. So your answer is incorrect and you are not going to score any marks. Now let us look at some examples on multiple select questions, MSQ. Which of the following is /or examples of the analog communication? He has given 4 options, and you can see that the options are given not by using radio button, but that is called checkbox. So checkbox indicates that it is the MSQ question. So out of the 4 options, you have to select all the correct options. We know that 1, 3 and 4, they come under analog communication. So if you select 1, 3 and 4, then only you are going to get the marks. Even if you select 1 and 3 but not 4, you are not going to get the marks. For example, one of the student has selected in this fashion, amplitude modulation and single sideband modulation comes under analog communication. The answer is incorrect, because even vestigial sideband modulation comes under analog communication. If you look at the same question, another student has selected it in this fashion. Out of the 4 options which are shown with check boxes, he has selected 1, 3 and 4. So his answer is correct and he is going to get full marks for this. I told you MSQ questions does not have partial credit. So there is no question of partial credit. So correct answer, because 1, 3 and 4 fall under analog communication. One more example. Which of the following signed number representations has/have unique representation of 0? So which of these representations are having unique representation of 0? So he has given 4 options. Again, check boxes are given here. That means it falls under multiple select questions. We know that only 2's complement representation is the right answer for this, because in all other forms the 0 is going to have 2 different representations. So unique representation will exist only in 2's complement representation. Suppose if any student selects it as like this one, 2's complement representation, then the answer is correct. So the reason is only 2's complement representation has unique representation of 0. In this manner, looking at radio buttons and check boxes, we can determine which is MCQ question and which is MSQ question. Now let's come to the syllabus and discuss what are the changes made in the syllabus and what topics you need to focus. So I am going to present you the topics included, topics removed, as well as on which topics you need to focus in each and every subject. Let's take general aptitude. I told already it is going to have 15 marks. So that is very crucial. So you need to focus on this subject. It is having these 4 sections: verbal, quantitative, analytical and spatial aptitude. Remember, the spatial aptitude is the new one introduced this year. Earlier it was not there. Verbal aptitude, there is no change in that. It is concerned to English grammar, it is as it is. But changes are made in quantitative aptitude as well as analytical aptitude. Little bit of elementary mathematics has been introduced in quantitative aptitude, and also some topics are added to this analytical aptitude. Spatial aptitude is a new topic, as I told. It is going to deal with 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional figures. So from the 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional figures, whatever question he gives, we need to answer to them. As I said, in quantitative aptitude, the elementary statistics and probability is introduced. Also, some series as well as powers and exponents is added to this particular quantitative aptitude. Earlier, it was not there. Coming to the analytical aptitude, the deduction and induction analogy is introduced, and one more topic is the numerical relation is introduced. And as I said earlier, this is entirely new topic. That means you have to focus more on it, because we are not familiar how the questions will come on this spatial aptitude. It basically deals with 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional figures. So this is all about the general aptitude, which weighs 15 marks. Coming to the mathematics. So 13 marks are going to come based on the mathematics, and if you look at, this is the old syllabus, and whatever I highlighted, those 2 topics have been removed. The numerical methods for ECE students is completely removed, and also the correlation and regression analysis is removed. So this is the new syllabus in which you don't find the numerical methods. But I advise you, even though the correlation and regression is removed, it is actually part of statistics. So if you find the time, better you go through it once. Numerical methods you can drop it completely, but correlation and regression, there is a chance of getting a question, because the questions are not sure how they are going to come. Coming to the subjects now, networks, signals and systems. This is the old syllabus what we had. Some titles have been changed in this subject, as well some topics have been removed in this one. First of all, let me focus on networks. The network solution methods have been changed to the circuit analysis, and in this one few changes have been made like this one. The driving point and transfer functions, it is removed from the syllabus. Earlier it was there. As well, the state equations of networks is also not there. If we want to score good marks in this particular subject, on these topics we need to focus it. Apart from regular network theorems like Thevenin's, Norton's theorem, maximum power transfer theorem, Telegen's theorem, you should also study the reciprocity theorem. And also the steady state AC circuit analysis is very important topic. And the standard ones where we are going to get more number of questions is the transient circuit analysis as well the two-port network parameters. So if you are thorough with all these topics, most of the questions on networks you can answer to them. Now let us come to the second part of it, the signals and systems. Considerable changes are made to this particular subject. Let me introduce that. In the case of signals and system, the digital filter design topic is completely removed. The direct form 1, direct form 2 structures, everything has been removed, and also the fast Fourier transform has been removed. And the topic included in signals and system is the discrete time processing of continuous signals. Anyhow, we study that. If you want to go to discrete domain, we require this. And if you want to score more marks in this particular subject, then you have to prepare these topics well. Especially Fourier transform properties is very important. So you have to know in and out of the properties of Fourier transform, both continuous case as well as discrete case. And apart from that, causality, stability, what are the properties of signals and systems, the Z transforms including region of convergence as well the discrete Fourier transform. Next subject in which lot of changes are made is the digital circuits. This is the old syllabus we had and it is changed to this one. What are the major changes done in this particular subject is the microprocessor is replaced by computer organization. The 8085 processor is no more present in the syllabus. What is the new topic we have here instead of microprocessor is the computer organization. Of course, it is the basic level of computer organization. Up to instruction pipelining we need to study. And apart from that, the changes made are the floating point representation is included into the syllabus. This one, floating point representations, and also the critical path delay in a sequence circuit. That is another topic added in this one. So these are the topics removed and these are the topics included. So if you want to score more marks in digital circuits, then you need to go through all these topics. Importantly, the 2's complement representation you need to learn well, because definitely one question is coming in GATE examination based on this topic. I am expecting a definite question on floating point representation. What is the maximum value you can represent in the floating point representation? What is the minimum value you can represent? Based on such criteria, definitely we can expect one question. And apart from all these things, finite state machine and critical path delay, that's a very important one. So the application oriented questions will come based on these FSMs. A traffic light controlling system need to be designed, then how many number of flip-flops are required for it? So such type of questions will come. So you need to be thorough with finite state machines as well the latest topic, critical path delay. Another important topic is the data converters, that is analog to digital and digital to analog converter. Semiconductor memories, morely it is theoretical, so not many questions are coming on that semiconductor memories. Coming to the electronic devices, another important subject. So considerable changes are made in the syllabus of electronic devices also. This is the old syllabus what we had, and this is the present syllabus. In field effect transistor, only the enhancement MOSFET need to be considered. The depletion MOSFET you can ignore. The topics removed in this subject is the IC fabrication techniques have been removed. We have different steps of IC fabrication like oxidation, diffusion and photolithography. All the topics you need not read, they have been excluded from the syllabus. And coming to the important topics here, MOSFET and the concepts of MOS capacitor are very, very important. Nowadays many questions are coming based on these principles. After that you have to be clear with CMOS basics as well the semiconductor theory. That is about electronic devices. Coming to the electromagnetics, few changes have been made in this electromagnetics. The first one is the radar basics is removed completely from the syllabus. Whatever that radar basics we have it here, that has been removed here, basics of radar. And also electrostatics is removed from the syllabus and circular waveguides is included, rectangular and circular waveguides. So let me show in the form of table here. So electrostatics and radar basics have been removed and the new topic included into the syllabus is the circular waveguide. So if you want to score good number of marks in this particular subject, you be thorough with all these topics. Obviously with rectangular and circular waveguides as well as antennas and radiation patterns and uniform plane waves and then transmission lines. Another important subject from GATE point of view is communication systems. Few changes are made even in this particular subject. One of the major change is the multiple access technique is removed and inter-symbol interference is also excluded from the syllabus. So if you want to see clearly, this is the new syllabus and this is the comparison table. The circuits for analog communication we need not cover. So need not remember what are the circuits for AM transmission, FM transmission, all those things they have been removed. And also the timing and frequency synchronization is not there in the syllabus. The mitigation of ISI, basics of TDMA, FDMA and CDMA is removed from the syllabus. And one topic is included in communication, that is called cyclic redundancy codes, CRC codes. And if you want to score more number of marks in this particular communication subject, then you have to focus on these topics. It's a very important one, so you have to be thorough with all the fundamentals. As per my view, the random process is very, very important. So you have to be thorough with all the fundamentals, so learn it thoroughly. After that, the pulse code modulation is another important topic. Many questions do come based on that, especially on quantization noise, bandwidth of PCM, quantization levels, all those things. And then matched filter receiver and probability of error. I think it's a potential topic to get 1 or 2 questions. So try to understand what is the meaning of matched filter as well, what is the probability of error and how to calculate the probability of error. And of course, the new topic also important one, that is called CRC codes. In analog circuits also few modifications are done. So let me show what are those changes. In the case of analog circuits, this is the old syllabus. In new syllabus, he mentioned all the topics in a precise manner. But remember, to cover these topics, most of the analog circuit concepts are required. For example, he did not mention feedback amplifier here, but if you want to understand oscillators, we require the concept of feedback amplifiers. Without that, you can't understand oscillators. So it is mentioned precisely, but it is going to have almost all the topics of the previous syllabus. I'll tell you what are the topics that are excluded first. The triple type 5 timer is not there in the syllabus, and also the power amplifiers have been removed. The voltage reference circuits as well as power supplies is also excluded from the syllabus. And coming to the important topics to be studied for the gate examination is this. The DC biasing of amplifiers, both BJT amplifier and MOSFET amplifiers, we need to be very thorough with that. And apart from that, op-amps based circuits, amplifiers and the diode based circuits. So most of the times the question do come in this particular 4 topics only. One of the subject in which there are no changes at all is the control systems. So this is the old syllabus and this is the new syllabus. It is absolutely same. These are the topics on which we need to focus to become thorough in control systems. Of course, transfer functions, next one is the time domain and frequency domain analysis, and the stability criteria as well as the root locus, Bode plots and state space analysis. With my vast experience, now I would like to pass on some advices to succeed in the gate examination. Remember, if you want to succeed in the gate examination, you need to organize your preparation. You try to follow these steps so that you can get very good rank in the gate examination. I have seen many students who are having moderate knowledge got very good ranks in the gate examination because of implementing these steps successfully. So you also try to understand that and try to follow them. The first one, whatever remaining time is there for the gate exam, you utilize it effectively. So you prepare a timetable for this remaining months and prepare accordingly. I advise you, don't prepare only one subject continuously, you prepare 2 or 3 subjects simultaneously. So that is going to improve your remembrance power. And second thing is, if you look at all the questions coming in the gate exam, they are not going to come from nook and corner of the subject. So they will be based on fundamentals very much. So you have to learn all the fundamentals very thoroughly. One more reason for that is, now MSQ questions are introduced, which is going to be definitely based on some theoretical concepts also. So you have to learn the fundamentals in and out of them. Then you will be comfortable to answer to the questions coming in the gate exam. And third thing is, obviously, if you solve more number of problems, then you will be comfortable in the gate exam. But the problem here is, whatever problems are coming in the textbook, they will be theoretical oriented. They will not be suitable for the gate exam. So you have to solve the gate oriented problems. That is the requirement. So my suggestion is, you join online test series of ACE Engineering Academy and you try to appear for all the exams without missing any one of them. The advantage you are going to gain, I will tell you. The first thing you will know is how to effectively make use of the time. You will come to know that. Number 2, you will come to know how to use the online calculator, which is very, very essential. Number 3, you will come to know in which subjects you are strong and in which subjects you are lacking. All those things you will come to know once you appear for online test series. So I advise you, immediately you register for online test series. Finally, I would like to tell one thing. A winner never quits and a quitter never wins. So if you want to win, you need to have that confidence and you should not quit at any point of time. Have confidence on you. Best of luck. Thank you.